Hey, what's going on, racers? Blackhawk back once again with another weekly racing recap. And we've got an action-packed weekend. Most of it takes place in all three main countries in the North America, with a little bit of sprinkling from the baguette smokers over there in Europe. And on that note, we're going to start in France with the 24 Hours of Le Mans, probably the most prestigious endurance race of the entire season. Once again, rain played a little bit of a factor, but at the end of 24 very long, grueling hours, the number 83 AF Corsa Ferrari hypercar wins the overall race, which is their third straight win for the manufacturer in the race. And in the LMP2 class, the number 43 Inter Europol wins. And in the GT3 class, we have the number 92 Manthey Porsche. Congratulations to all the winners. Hope y'all get some good rest this week. You're going to need it for the next one. Back to North America, and we're going to start in the Great White North. Formula One Canadian GP at Montreal. George Russell on the pole with Max Verstappen on the outside. Russell quickly takes the lead away from the GOAT, and it's a pretty green flag affair for the entire race. Until, in the absolute closing of the race, nearly 4 laps to go, McLaren teammates Oscar Piastri, who I called Pastrana the other week, apologies for that, and Lando Norris get together, bring out the yellow, and that's it. The safety car comes out. They finish the race under yellow. They don't do green, white checkers like in NASCAR. Kind of boring if you ask me. But it's the first win of the year for Mercedes. And in second place, Verstappen keeps the runner position, and Kimi Antonelli comes home in third. From the Great White North to the Gateway at St. Louis, we've got a 500-miler with IndyCar this weekend. Will Power puts it on pole next to his teammate Scott McLaughlin, but David Malukas takes the lead by the end of stage 1, and he holds on to that until almost 50 laps in. When Will Power, still running in second place, has a right front tire goes down, and that essentially ends his night. But that's not that bad of a wreck compared to what's coming later. Lap 130, Louis Foster spins off of turn 4, and Joseph Newgarden has no way to avoid him. Runs over the left side of his car, up onto the railing, and lands on his roof. Catches fire, sparks are flying everywhere, gasoline leaking out of the cars. That little halo they added to the Indy cars about a decade ago now definitely helped a lot here. Saved both of these drivers. One from getting impacted on the asphalt, the other one by another tire. Both drivers did make it out okay, but man, these are some scary wrecks in these cars. Gateway is not even a 1.5 mile oval, but it is a very, very fast track. These Indy cars will still get well over 200 miles an hour here. Not even NASCAR goes that fast here, and for good reason, because stuff like this happens. After the restart, Pato O'Ward and Connor Daly battle for the lead, and it goes green, which means pit stops are going to be important. And they sure are, as Kyle Kirkwood passes both Scott Dixon and O'Ward after the pit stops, and eventually takes the lead as the leaders stayed out to try to stretch the fuel but couldn't quite do it, and Kyle Kirkwood wins his very first career oval race. He's already a multi-time winner this season, looking really strong for the championship later on this season. Alright, so we've had Canada, we've had the United States, and now we go south of the border to Mexico. At the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. I can't do the accent, forgive me, but NASCAR is in Mexico City for the first time in 10 years, and the Cup Series for the first time ever down there. But we start off Saturday in the Xfinity Series. Connor Zilisch on the pole right next to Ty Gibbs, trying to get that extra track time in for the Cup race on Sunday. The pair runs side by side, swapping the lead before Ty Gibbs sends Connor Zilisch out into the grass and takes the lead. And throughout the entire first run of the race, multiple cars will spin off the track and get themselves going again. It had been drizzling for a couple days, so a lot of the grass was still really soaked in. Cars running through it will find themselves spinning off in the asphalt just to the next turn over. It was a long day for these guys. At the end of stage 1, the leaders all pit to get cycled out to later on. Carson Voppel in the number 1 car wins stage 1. Getting to stage 2, we go green with the 19 and the 88 leading the entire way until they also pit. The whole stage goes green for the most part, and Sammy Smith in the 8 car for Junior Motorsports wins stage number 2. On the restarts for stage 3, the leaders come together 3 wide on the restart, with Daniel Suarez, the local boy, taking the lead in the number 9 car for Junior Motorsports. But a massive pileup quickly brings out a yellow. We've got another restart on our hands. Suarez quickly takes the lead, but another caution caused by Jesse Love in the number 2 comes out, but he maintains it through another restart. And Taylor Gray, the number 54 car, is catching him in the closing laps, even bumps a little bit in the final corners and almost rains on his parade, but Daniel Suarez wins in front of his hometown crowd for the first time in decades. And it is an amazing affair. Everybody there loves him. It was a party. He took the piñata into the grandstands after the race and smashed it with the fans. It was awesome to see. And that leads us into Sunday, the Cup Series race. There's a couple storylines headed into the weekend for the Cup guys this week. First of all, Denny Hamlin subbed out with Ryan Truex. Hamlin had his newborn son born the other day, so congratulations on becoming dad again. But Ryan Truex doing his first start in the Cup Series in several years as well in the 11 car. And to top it off, multiple drivers were starting to feel a bit under the weather. Some of them got sick apparently from the tap water, some of them from food poisoning. Our pole sitter SVG was also feeling sick. He had been taking medicine and all kinds of stuff before the race on Sunday and just praying that he made it through. Not to add to all the extra pressure of starting from pole. But everybody expects big things out of SVG when you come to road courses. But anyway, he starts on the pole next to Ryan Preece, and they battle it out with Ross Chastain coming from behind quickly. But before they even complete the first lap, the caution comes out because it just starts pouring rain once again. With the rains coming down, fortunately on road courses we have the optional rain tires. And everybody comes down and puts on rain tires except for 2 drivers. For reasons that we cannot yet understand, both Austin Cindric and Chris Buescher stay out on their slick tires. And it's not like this was a small sprinkling that happened to stop. It was still pouring rain on the restart. It goes about as well as you think it does for these guys. Shane in that 88 car makes mincemeat out of them on the restart. Ross Chastain sends it wide with Ty Gibbs, and the 54 car takes the lead for only a few laps until good old Rowdy Busch once again does not understand that you can't brake hard in the wetness, and he ends the day for quite a few guys here. What a mess. After the restart, Ty Gibbs and SVG fight for the lead with the number 54 prevailing momentarily, but SVG, ever the road course ringer, takes it right back from him. The leaders pit with 2 laps to go in stage 1 because that's when the pits close, and they hand the lead off to Ryan Preece, who goes on to win the stage. After everybody pits, we start stage 2 with the Spire Motorsports teammates. Another road course ringer in Michael McDowell in the 71, and everybody's favorite driver Carson Hocevar in the number 77 starting in second place. Yes, we will be seeing more of him later. Stage 2 runs fairly clean and green. The number 88 stays out to win stage 2. SVG's first stage win of the season collects those important 10 points. He is low in the standings right now, and if he has any shot to make the playoffs, he's going to have to put some more work in. All right, final stage of the race. SVG leads Christopher Bell on the restart. The first time the 20's been up front all day, and the 2 swap the lead for a good while, but SVG prevails once again. Pretty soon, Hocevar, everybody's favorite driver, gets spun, can't get the car refired, and brings out a caution. Bad news, it happens during the middle of green flag pit stops, and it completely burns Ty Gibbs. He was on a strategy trying to stay out as long as possible. Everybody else in front of him pitted, including SVG. Gibbs goes to the back of the field, SVG back up front. On the restart, the 88 and the 20 lead off, and there is a lot of bent metal and hurt feelings on this restart. Everybody shoving each other out of the way, jockeying for position. And when you're in the last stages of the race, there are no more friends. You take every position you possibly can, and a lot of these guys certainly do, including Riley Herbst and William Byron. Byron, for whatever reason, completely dumps the 35 and gets spun out, and then almost completely takes out Stenhouse in the process, trying to get it straightened back out. And Carson Hocevar wishes that he did, for reasons we're going to get to in just a moment. But the 35 car finally gets it straightened out. Everybody gets back in line. Then a few short laps later, Carson Hocevar completely locks it up going into the corner and hits Ricky Stenhouse Jr. again. I don't know what to do with these two, man. They are completely inseparable. There's quite a few discussions after this race, and it's when we get back to stateside next week in Pocono, it's gonna be ugly. But everybody gets it pulled back together, and SVG maintains his race lead and completely pulls away from the field and gets his first win of the season, and his first in over 2 years since winning the inaugural Chicago Street Course race. Christopher Bell brings it home in second, and Chase Elliott, the new Mr. Where'd He Come From, brings it home in third place. And there are some post-race discussions happening. Ricky Stenhouse immediately heads to Hocevar's race car and says some things I can't put in a YouTube video right now, but we'll just say Stenhouse was pretty mad after the fact. But with this, SVG goes from 33rd to into the playoffs now. He is actually 9th overall because he has another stage win. And so he's going to be in the playoffs now. Both him and teammate Ross Chastain are representing Trackhouse really well this season. And we got several more road courses coming in the next couple weeks. So SVG has a prime opportunity to stack those points. All right, and that's it for this week. Next week, Formula One's got an off week. IndyCar has got another road course race at Road America. And the NASCAR is in the Pocono Raceway in Pocono, Pennsylvania. But until next time, y'all have a fantastic week. Stay racy.